it live from Random Secret Studios in Philadelphia and all over the Delaware Valley.
I'm the capo. He's the prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the pod. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sons of Ben, the pod. This is episode, let me tell you guys, this is the number that every fat guy in your high school wanted on their football jersey, but only John Runyon could pull off.
72.
No, episode 69.
Nice.
I know you had that guy in your high school that always wore the 69 and always, oh, that's my number. Funny.
I tried to get that in middle school for attention, or not middle school, high school for my soccer team, and the coach was like, we don't make jerseys over 35. And I'm just like, got me again. Man, I appreciate that.
I'm sure your soccer coach's sex life was pretty boring out there.
I mean, he's Canadian, so, I've heard good things.
Explains a lot. So, guys, no guests this week, mostly because big announcement. We're going back in the studio next week, and we will have guests again. So the pod is getting back to normal, just like the rest of the world. We will be back in the secret bunker, and we're going to have a guest, and we're going to announce that later, not now. You excited about that, Adam? You look confused.
Well, no, it's very important to me that we got back to a in-bunker experience only because I think my girlfriend's tired of hearing me yell in the apartment about soccer about once a week at like random hours when she's trying to watch The Bachelorette.
Yeah, my girlfriend's tired of me just hogging up the Wi-Fi and just being here in general, so she's excited to ship my ass out for any kind of activity whatsoever.
Even though I'm not going to lie, Jess is probably going to miss Devin because the way that I think their relationship has grown stronger since he's been stuck in here doing these terrible podcasts with us. So,
He's the only one getting meals delivered. We're getting like bread thrown at us, and that's about it, Adam.
See, this is what happens in suburbia. You get your own version of Grubhub. The rest of us have to forage for food out on the streets, and he's like,
we have to go to the bodegas. I know. So speaking of things that we have to do to make our houses wonderful, how about some housekeeping?
Yeah,
remember, guys. Beer of the pod. We got a Yards 2SP. I've got a little filthy with me right now, so get me through the day. But it's important to remember those that support us, not just the pod, but even the tailgate. Like, we'll talk about tailgates later, but we were able to do a $5 tailgate. No way in hell we could do a $5 tailgate if we didn't have support from Yards and 2SP, Aliche, that kind of stuff. So if you hear any of our sponsors and you're just thinking, what should I have? Should I have maybe a Leinenkugel or a Yards? Your answer is a Yards or a 2SP. Just saying,
Spell Leinenkugel.
The old Leinenkugel. I just wanted to say it because it's a tough thing to say.
I just wanted to hear it.
I know, and I'll tell you what, just renew. We got so much cool stuff going on, but some of the stuff is going to slowly be for members only because membership has its privileges. We're going to have a tailgate that you're not going to want to miss if you're a sports fan, a Union fan, a soccer fan, anything. You're going to want to be a member because we are going to have one or two tailgates that's just exclusive to members. So join. Dude, it's like $35 and just the discounts alone. If you're going to the Mexico trip, the discount alone pays for that. If you're going to Nashville, the discount alone would have paid for it. If you go to a couple tailgates, that discount alone pays for it, let alone the kit. So let's remember to renew. Now, speaking of trips, gents, less than a week, July 4th weekend, Nashville. Details are out. So we've got a happy hour / tailgate before the game at City Tap House, Nashville. We've got a rooftop 4th of July party they're saying it's the third biggest firework display in North America for the 4th of July. We've got a brewery tour at the biggest brewery. It's called Fat Bottom Brewing, an exclusive tour for us. We may have some quasi-celebrity guests with us. And of course, don't forget, we got a Union game. We got a Saturday evening Union game in where the Tennessee Titans play. We get to play the Tennessee Titans in a football game. It's going to be exciting.
All I'm excited to do is just see if Derrick Henry just runs over Andre Blake in the goal, just straight up, or is there just a stiff arm involved? I don't know.
Hopefully they throw that yellow flag, and we'll have VAR reverse it. Wait, are we combining sports? That's weird.
I mean, let's just talk. I mean, I will mention the amount of yellows that I saw yesterday. It seemed quite extensive. I think that the referee yesterday got himself a good arm workout. Just you get a card, you get a card, everybody gets a card.
Oh, he was Oprah Winfrey of cards. But so we definitely have the Miami and Orlando trip, and of course, gents, I don't know if you saw it, Mexico City. I already booked my flight, put my deposit down. I don't know about you guys, but this is bucket list time. This is, take your life in danger. Let's go to Mexico City and see if somebody gets kidnapped. I'm trying to push Sid in the way in the van. Just like, yeah, right in the van. We'll be all right.
I mean, you always have to have that one dude that you can just trip when everyone else is in the stampede not to get taken, and Sid definitely seems like the candidate. Now, he is a father, and I feel bad for his child. However,
I'm sure the insurance money will take care of that.
Someone has to be sacrificed for the greater good.
Yeah. So, speaking of the greater good, we had some new merch. Now, we had the Pride shirt. Adam, I don't know if you were rocking that, weren't you?
I have it. I did not rock it this particular day only because it was so balls hot. I went sleeveless this time around. So
gotcha. But so the Pride shirt, that was a pre-order. Devin, a pre-order is, now I'm saying that because so many people were like, I missed the pre-order. Can I get it? I said no. John's being nicer to everybody, so we are ordering a few more. We will have more Pride shirts for you. But, pre-orders are pre-order, people. Come on, get on it while you can. But
this is why we have a democracy and not a dictatorship.
Man, I'm ready for this to be Cuba, man, and my name's Fidel.
Oh, my. Which one?
the one that's still alive.
Insert Castro here.
Yeah. But no, so we do have a new shirt coming. Like I said before, just look for it soon. I don't want to give it away, but Rally House. Rally. Anyhow, speaking of exciting news, www.Philadelphia2026.com. The World Cup bid is here. We had a big event at the old Wawa. It was so weird. They invited me to a Wawa grand opening, and I'm like, why would I go to a Wawa grand opening? But all of a sudden, you turn around. Ali Bedoya is there. The CEO of Wawa is there. David Cohen, the executive, soon-to-be ambassador to Canada, was there. And they were announcing that Wawa's throwing in their support behind the bid. So we've got some major local backing for this bid, deep pockets. So that's always good with FIFA. A lot of news is happening. The big thing is this Tuesday, the 29th, you can see the Supporters Shield, the Independent Visitor Center across from the Liberty Bell. They are giving that space to the World Cup bid, and it's going to be called The Pitch, where they're going to be doing soccer clinics, including... Get it? The pitch? It's not the field. It's also the pitch. You like that?
You didn't have to acknowledge my side laughing in the corner, but I'm glad that you did because I, a fan of puns, was sitting there the whole time to be like, they said it. They said it.
We're doing the pitch on the pitch. They're going to do soccer clinics with friend of the pod and 3-time gold medalist Heather Mitz will be doing a clinic or two. I'm going to try to talk to, how do you say it? Monsieur? How do you say Mr. in French?
Monsieur
Letou. We're going to see if we can get him.
There is no H in there. It's Monsieur.
Yeah. Monsieur? Oh, Monsieur.
Monsieur.
How do they say that in Delco? Monsieur?
I won't even. I'm not even going to disrespect Delco and France by trying that.
So there's going to be some soccer clinics, a lot of events. But on Tuesday's the grand opening. We're going to bring the shield for people to take pictures with. That's going to be 2:00 Tuesday the 29th. So if you're in Center City, Old City, stop by, say hi, check it out. There's a beer garden on top. So it should be a good time all summer long, especially with Welcome Wawa, Welcome America happening. So
they finally brought something to my neighborhood, so I'm definitely going to go to this. But thank you. You made this convenient for me.
Yeah. Now speaking of things, that are now in the past, Drunken Union Zoom, man, put a pin in it. It gone.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
I wish this was a video because then we could do like a montage of everybody's faces of that were on the screen during the thing. But apparently Coach swung by to say hi.
Look,
or goodbye.
Goodbye. We all saw how it started and what it metamorphosized itself into. And I know Jared has already given his own personal eulogy to the subject, but man, that was an interesting thing that became a very consistent thing, and to a lot of people I knew, a part of their lives, really, like a part of their weekend routine was 7:30 rolls around, I'm hopping on the Zoom call every Friday night. And look, it's super nice to have full capacity back. It's super nice to have everyone, going about their days. People have their weekend schedules again. But I personally am going to miss the reliability of just being like, hey, a bunch of my buddies are on a Zoom call at 10 o'clock. Let me just say hi real quick.
The one thing for me was nice, and besides the Alexi Laloses and the Aronsons and McKenzie's coming on, and
we
the coach,
found about with the Mark McKenzie Patron commercial. That was one of the greatest moments in Union Zoom history.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, but for me, and you guys saw it on Wednesday, like the most time I get to interact with people should be the tailgates. But you're getting pulled around and Devin's starting to experience this firsthand. Instead of sitting there having a beer, he's got more steps in during 2 hours of a tailgate than he has all week. So the Zoom was great because I could actually sit and talk to people and get to know them. Like even Tannenwald, before the Union Zoom, Tannenwald was just like, okay, here's the guy just looking for a quote and blah, blah. Now he's a buddy. So, I will miss it. I wish I got on it more, but it was Friday night at 7:30 and that kind of was date night happy hour. So even in the pandemic, got to go get some pizza, got to, go get some takeout. But yeah, Drunken Union Zoom. 2020, 2021. We barely knew you. Rest in peace. Speaking of peace, how's it going at the Discord there, Devin? Get off mute. How's that Discord?
Man. Discord's fantastic. We broke through 200 members this week, so a big milestone for this Discord.
Do you get what's that? Like, is that you get a koozie or something from the Discord people? They give you a Discord T-shirt?
No, we are nowhere near those levels. Yeah, a little button for your shirt.
Here's Devin, a pen is something people used to use to write down information instead of typing on a keyboard.
Okay. And the best part about this is I actually left the Discord group maybe 2 days ago I just was like, I'm good, and just left it straight up. So I'm glad you guys got over to 200 while subtracting one.
You'll be back. We know it. All right, guys.
I'm addicted to the media.
Yeah, we know. All right. We had some games. The Union went down to Atlanta and did big things, unlike the Sixers.
The Union went down to Atlanta. They were looking for a game to steal. There was the bongs. They were way behind, and they were looking to steal a deal.
I mean, it was hilarious because, we went, it was Father's Day. My dad I thought we were going to go do something, probably miss the game. He goes, no, let's go to Zed's and watch the game. So we actually brought the Shield to Zed's. Jeff was happy as a clam seeing the Shield, and we watched that game. And let me tell you, it kind of sucked for a while. It really, really sucked to watch that. And I'm looking at my phone waiting for Messenger to pop up from my boy Chris, who's an Atlanta fan down there. And I was just waiting. But Southern people, they don't trash talk. And luckily we were losing, so I didn't trash talk him. And then at the end, after the Norwegian rocket, which, by the way, I think the World Trade Council just labeled Norway as a nuclear powerhouse now because he just launched that freaking rocket, dude. That was a nuclear missile.
That was one of your best roundabout jokes of all time. And I just want you to know that. I'm happy to be on the journey it took for you to get to that punchline. But hey, look, and you talking about no trash talking. This is two Americas right here because apparently you don't got black family in Atlanta because, man, after the Sixers lost to the Hawks, I got 47 text messages. 5 family members I haven't talking to since I got christened, legitimately my baptismal, and they were just like, hey, how about them Sixers? And I'm just like, how about your face?
Well, at least they know that they have a professional basketball team in Atlanta now. I'm sure they probably had their jerseys on with the tags hanging in the back too because they forgot to take them off and they just bought them from Dick's Sporting Goods.
So, low key, if the Hawks didn't beat the Sixers, I would totally be okay with them winning a championship, only because that there are some Hawk fans out there that have been deprived for so long, people who've been beat up by Atlanta pro sports. As a Philadelphian, I feel that ultimately. But now that the Sixers are out of it, and I kind of don't like Trae Young because he's a little bit annoying with his foul calls, I'm totally okay with rooting for the Phoenix Suns unabashedly to win the NBA championship this year.
And speaking of Trae Young, can we do a favor? We're going to go do a throwback. One of our first pods, we had, Mr. Fox the Gambler, Sean Brace on. And he used to pimp a product called the Skull Shaver. Can we get that shit for Trae Young? That pube hair has got to go, man. Come on, dude. You're a multimillionaire. You can't be rolling around with that. Like, just give it up. You're 21 years old. It's going. It is going. Just do the deal, man. Get the Skull Shaver. You'll make some extra bread. It'll be fine, you know?
Look, I'm not even one. I don't even like doing the appearances often. Like when I was a young heckler, I'd be like, "Yo, you got a weird lopsided fro" and things like that. But no, like legitimately, Mr. Young. Look at Mr. Young. Here's what's going to happen. You might win yourself an NBA championship. You might be an MVP of an NBA Finals or something. Do you really want that hair with the trophy? Because you're going to look at this is a moment where you remember when Michael Jordan had his hair like in the earliest part of the 80s when it was still just kind of still there. It was a little black still up top.
Holding on to it. Yeah, like LeBron holds on to his with the shoe polish and shit. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Not even to digress because I know we've gotten so off topic, but I love the idea that LeBron actually knows how much we know it's fake hair and doesn't give a shit. He's just still going to go. Like that to me is the ultimate FU is people want you to admit your defeat. People want you to say, you've been beaten, you've been bested, you lost. And LeBron's like, I'm LeBron. I can have hair, air quotes, as long as I want. Like, whatever you think hair is, I'm going to have it as long as I feel like it. And as long as I can keep wearing a headband.
Wayne Rooney's like, hey, LeBron, hold my beer. Get the hair plugs, you know?
Oh, man. Remember when hair plugs almost killed Joe Buck?
Oh, yeah. Now, Trae Young, I know you listen to the pod. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. As a person that had a mullet, just cut it off, dude. Just cut that hair off. You'll feel so much better about yourself. You'll look at pictures and be like, oh, I look normal now. Just cut it off. But it's funny. I did at the end of the game after the Norwegian nuclear missile, just knocked Brad Guzan back into the Stone Age. I just politely typed to my buddy in Atlanta. I go, rivals. That's it. So he comes back. He goes, that was a true kick in the nuts. I don't think 3/4 of the stadium realized what happened after he kicked the ball. Like people are still cheering and chanting, and they're like, "Oh shit, they just tied us in."
That sequence, that entire sequence was perfect too. Because if you're listening to the commentators at home, you heard after the second goal win, then they're like, "All right, this is pretty much a wrap. Good for Atlanta. They've dominated play." Oh. And then Corey Burke was just like, "Excuse me, real quick. Let me just tap this in here real quick. A little tappa." And then legitimately, Glesnes started a legit arms race. Where I think everyone's now going to invest in 6'4" center backs that can kick. I just think that's the new move now going across MLS because the beauty of that goal too was similar to the first one. If you were just a fan of soccer in any capacity, you think that's amazing. That is doesn't matter what league you're in, doesn't matter who you're a fan of, doesn't matter what you're watching. If you are a fan of soccer, you're just like, holy shit, that was fantastic.
I mean, the video that the Union posted on their Twitter had the most views of any video they ever posted with 2.5 million. What?
I mean, it was SportsCenter's number 2. To give you an idea of that thing, that was on SportsCenter's top 10. That was number 2. And that got a ton of hits too. It was brought to my attention by some people I'll just say it, Richard sent me an email like, you got to see these numbers. And I'm like, holy crap, man. It was amazing. And like I said, our center backs are some of our most feared strikers.
I think Jack Elliott has at least 5 header goals in Union history since he's gotten here. And then Glesnes is just shooting 3-pointers every single time because out there. And the best part was, one of the announcers, and I forget who these guys were. I think was it ESPN was doing the game. Anyway, one of the announcers was just he tends to like to shoot these occasionally. He was just saying he goes out here and just starts to wallop some from 35 yards out. And then it's one thing to see that ball get hit on a dead ball. It is another to see that man get that ball, kick it one time in front of himself, and then said, I got this. and just absolutely sends it on a rocket ship to the moon. That was as impressive as, I mean, like, is some of Guzan's worst goals all Union players? Is that a thing?
Who else? All right, let me go 2 thoughts on that goal and then a thought on the game. One, to the commentator, friend of the pod, Denny Higginbotham was one of the commentators.
That wasn't Higginbottom then. It was the other guy because I know it wasn't Danny. It was He was like, this guy likes to take these occasionally because he was saying like Higginbottom was actually giving a really good analysis of, because like he does have that uniqueness of knowing the Union, but he didn't sound like a Union homer. Like he didn't sound like a person who was working for the Union who happened to be on this broadcast, you know?
Yeah, and then and it's funny because he didn't sound like a homer, but he had the inside knowledge, which is great. But then, God, I already lost my train of thought. But no, it was just one of those moments you're like, holy, did that really happen? Like even live, when you saw it, did you think it hit the post, hit the line, and didn't cross it first?
It was the third bounce.
Yeah.
When the third bounce clearly was behind the line, I was like, wait a minute. Wait, okay, that's a goal. And then the moment when it was a Shabilko just kind of comes in leisurely in the back, and I'm just like, can you just kick that in for me real quick though? Just for good measure. Just tap it in with your foot. That'd be great. No, all right.
During the game, especially after Corey Burke scored, when you're looking at the sideline and you're seeing the kids warming up, were you guys thinking maybe Paxton comes in and recreates the Brad Guzan falling down? I really thought that was happening. I thought he was going to get subbed in and meg that old man and make him sit on his ass for the Aronson brace.
Disney would have thrown that script out. That would have been too cheesy. That would have been too ridiculous. Disney would have been like, nope, can't even. The probability of this is too high. But no, look, Brad Guzan, still all-timer, probably going to end up in Frisco in the National Soccer Hall of Fame for his abilities and all that. But it has been very interesting to see the Union routinely make this man look stupid.
Oh, man. I keep saying, like, listen, it's us in Atlanta in the East. I know Atlanta's down in the standings, but they are starting to come back. Did anyone notice? I didn't. Did the asshole shake Jim's hand?
I don't remember any of the end of that game, and I wish I did.
I know. I don't think they showed it, but I was just waiting to see, like, did Jackass come over to finally shake his hand like a man, or did he sulk off the field?
No, there was going to be more finger pointing and then a more obvious reference on how much taller Jim Curtin is than that person. But other than that, you know.
God, I can't wait till he gets fired. Not Jim, the Atlanta coach.
It is so weird now because like Atlanta's like Chelsea. They like fire managers after like 1.5 bad seasons. Like it's like wait a minute, you got a cup one good time and now you think you're supposed to succeed every year, and they're like, yes.
Their fans are more spoiled than Chelsea fans. I mean, it's crazy. It's obnoxious.
See, I honestly thought that both Miami and LAFC were on their way to being that bad of fan bases, but LAFC just didn't win the thing that mattered. Like they won the Supporter Shield and they were like the most points of all time, and then they got so humbled in the playoffs that I actually like their fans better because of it. Like I think that it made them more like, oh, this is a parity league. You just don't spend a shit ton of money and win every year, you know.
Here's the difference between Atlanta and Miami. I'm going to put them together, and the LA fans. The LA fans, let's face it, they can call themselves LAFC. They're Chivas. They were Chivas. They know Chivas. They know the pain, so they understand. So they take it as a little bit more respect. Like they're like, oh, we know what this league is like. We're gonna win because we're LA. We're gonna get big players, but they don't expect it because they were Chivas.
Do not disrespect the Miami Fusion like that. All right, South Florida has been there, done that, got the T-shirt with MLS before, and it was not that great. Also, the Tampa Bay Mutiny.
We had the Shield versus the Cup guys last night. And you're choking up about it. Shield versus Cup. Columbus finally comes to Philadelphia to play. And you know what? They got a big serving of an ass whooping.
Low key, I thought about that too. Because like I get it. Pandemic. We're going to talk about the last two quote seasons we had of soccer and like ways we were never going to talk about any other seasons ever. However, it was ridiculous to me when I looked at the last time we were in Columbus was 2019.
I mean, the last time Columbus played here.
Oh yeah, the last time Columbus came
Yeah.
to Chester was 2019.
Because we were in Columbus every other weekend in 2020.
We've played Columbus 4 times since then. Every single time was in Ohio. And I was thinking to myself, do the schedule makers of MLS have like no retention? Like, do they just go from season to season to start anew and like don't even bother with like, hey, did these guys play each other last season? Was there a proximity issue? Have we created an unfair advantage in a quote like rivalry or something, especially between two teams competing for championships? I don't know.
I could understand that goofy schedule if it was someone that shared a stadium like New England or NYUFU. Columbus has got their own stadium. We've got our own stadium. There's no reason for that. Now, I am concerned for the Columbus fans out there. They might not be able to play in a nice stadium because they got whooped in our nice stadium, and now they got their new stadium. Maybe they're going to get whooped all over the place and have to go to Mapfire, that piece of crap.
That thing, wait, let me tell you though. I saw a couple of images of that new stadium in Columbus. Fire. That thing looks gorgeous. I'm actually thinking about going to Ohio for a road trip. That's where I'm at with that stadium.
Funny thing is, I am in Columbus end of July, and I have to look at the schedule. If they are playing, I may make, a low-key trip just to go watch a game and see it. I don't know who I would root for. Hopefully it'd be like Columbus, Miami or something. I'd root for like a natural disaster, but we'll see. Yeah. So, but I tell you what, let's just talk about a little of the game and really the up to it. So we keep saying, man, you got to be a member. If you're listening to this, you're probably a member. But if you know someone that's not, you should tell them. We had our first unrestricted tailgate. Dude, we had, Devin, 140 people signed up ahead of time. We probably had over 200 plus people in the lot.
Yeah.
The beer trailer was nonstop. We had pizza. We had the Philadelphia Falcons. We had steel pints. Again, and I want to thank real quick our friends at Subaru. We were talking about trying to make our tailgate more sustainable, more earth-friendly, zero landfill. And we were talking to them casually about we were going to buy some plastic cups, reusable, members bring them back, you get a discount. Subaru comes off the top rope and we're like, why don't we get you some steel pints from Clean Canteen? We're like, okay, I got to call Friday to load this stuff from the dock to my truck. So members are getting these for free, and Devin's going to arrange it, and we'll probably announce it. But from now on, there'll be an optional ticket leap. If you say, hey, I'm bringing my steel cup with me, you'll get a discount on the tailgate, and we can get away from the solo cups. And by the way, you can bring them into the stadium. People didn't have any issues bringing that cup into the stadium. I'm going to clear it up with the team to make sure, but so we've got those cups. So we had people like walking around with these badass black steel pints. We had the pizza oven fired up. We had pizza royalty, Adam, manning the oven. Did you see that?
Look, I assumed it was going to be Papa John, but it was even better. It was Gigio.
Gigio was there with a pizza peel. And then we'll let Devin, go ahead, do your PSA. You're biting it. You're chomping at the bit to do your PSA.
I just want to say, it was amazing. Most people we've had at a weekday tailgate in how many years now? I mean,
almost a weekend for 2 years. I mean, honestly,
it was absolutely amazing. Philadelphia Falcons. Everything went great for them. They were able to raise almost $500 for their fundraiser and for the raffle. So it was amazing to see that. And then, I mean, it was just.
I felt bad because I didn't even get over their table. There were so many people, and you get pulled around in so many directions from working the beer trailer to some potential sponsors were there to just members that I didn't even get over to their table. I talked to a few of them when we were taking pictures with the Shield, so I feel bad. I hope they come back for another event, so at least I get to hang out and talk to them. But no, it was crazy. Even just simple things like going back to the concourse. We've been back in the stadium for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But one, the river end was packed. Not used to that. That was a little. And then two, going to the concourse, I'm like, oh, that's what a bathroom line is. Oh, it's going to take me 20 minutes to get a beer again. Like, it was.
That was absolutely. Because, I mean, we've been in the stadium since it was literally just us. Like, where it was literally just like us hanging out in front of the gate. And just to see, I've been to a bunch of Sixers games, but even then they were still doing capacity levels and all that stuff. That was jarring to see for the first time in like a very long time. Not even a woman's line, a men's line for the bathroom was just, it was borderline disorienting, honestly.
I heard people coming in, at 5 o'clock, we're having a hard time in the parking lots because the parking crew wasn't ready. Like, this was...
Did you see those lines going into the stadium?
Yep. Did you see the lines leaving the stadium? Yeah. We hung back in a parking lot for a while.
Yeah, we were there.
We're like, oh, hell no.
And there was still traffic. There was still a lot of traffic trying to leave. Even because, we're the last people to leave the stadium. Like, all of us in the river end are the last people because we have to clean up everything. We're the last people to physically be fans still in our seats in some capacity. So even doing that and then going to the tailgate area to hang out for like 25 minutes, even after all of this, there were still lines around the corner trying to get out of Subaru Park. It looked like a Flyers game during the playoffs.
Some of the players are showered and dressed and did a press conference and left before we leave.
Legitimately. If Jim Curtin is in the building before I leave the building, I'm concerned. I feel like he should have been gone a long ass time ago because I'm just lingering and trying to get like giant posters and bags of ice out of my face. But other than that,
Now, Adam, I do on the pod have an official request, and I know the Capos are listening. Can we please make sure every time our man Jamiro Montero scores, we got everybody singing the Jamiro Montero song?
I crushed it. I just want to throw that out there.
You did. I made eye contact. Yes. I saw you there, and I'm like, we're finally getting it. You were in between 136 and 135, but the rest of the crew wasn't ready for it. And I'm like, that's got to be on automatic, just like Scory Burke. As soon as Jamiro does it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, it's a cadence. And look, all the Capos who are listening, because I know they all listen to this, you go, the Dupe song plays. Everyone, you let Kevin Casey scream the name of who just scored the goal. Everyone goes, woo! And then you go into player-related songs. If it's Sergio, you go, Sergio Santos. You get the like Jamiro Montero. Jamiro, like that, because it's just so that's
I'm just gonna be your background song.
Yeah, please be my background music. No, but like legitimately, that is the one. There's there's several aspects that we always get complimented for. But that one is always the good one. When we get the player-specific chance, especially after goals, people love that. So,
Yeah. So we gotta make sure we got that.
Can I get a whole game where Matt follows Adam around and is just the background music to whatever change?
Oh my god!
I really need the human beatbox.
I need that mic'd up with a camera crew following us more than I need most things in my life. I just want to see. I want Matt to do my job for a game. Like I want Matt the capo Matt.
I'll do that if you do my job for a day.
What? Talk to your dad?
Yeah. I mean, be president. You do it.
You wanted me to do tailgate things. I also did things during the tailgate this time. Literally this time. What,
I'll capo for a day.
Yes.
But you have to be president the day after, and you get the emails for the shit I do that you get emails for.
That doesn't seem like a fair trade. In fact, I feel like there's a shaft involved that I'm getting it.
That's what I get every day after. Day after is the shaft. It's the joy of the Union winning and Matt getting an email the next day, or the joy of the Union losing and Matt getting a couple emails the next day.
Look, all I do is Adam goes home, he puts on the Grateful Dead, he burns a nice citronella candle, and then on the next day he goes to his cryogenic therapy because his body hurts and he's getting old. So then I actually spent a good hour today freezing my ass off in Northern Liberties so I can make myself feel better after trying to go up all those stairs last night. So, fun times.
Now, it's funny that you mentioned getting old. Happy belated birthday, Coach Jim.
Jimmy Jim's
birthday.
He
42
actually got
years on the planet.
He actually got to eat off the plate, which is that is the supporter shield, which I appreciate more than most things.
Ross decided to go plus if Jim wins a game, we throw him or hand him a beer, and Bros decided to put a beer and dessert on the shield and lowered it down to Jim. And I honestly haven't seen all the social media because I was just off everything today just because it was just a crazy day, but I have to see some of the pictures. But Jim was like, oh, whoa, oh, okay. Like I think he got a kick out of it, but I do want to say I texted him the morning of, but happy birthday, Jim. And I'm glad the team and especially Jamiro gave you a present because That was a good day, man. I'm telling you, that was a good day. Just being full capacity, just the stuff that we had going on in the tailgate lot, transferring into the game and after the game, just a good time. And speaking of stuff that's good times, I think this is going to be fun. You know, it's a publicity stunt, but Wrexham is coming to town at the end of July. Adam, I don't know if you were familiar with this Wrexham group, but they'll probably play the same level as that other team in England you support. Like they're a lower level 5 tier team in Wales.
Can you leave Carversham alone? Carversham is a great organization that I will guarantee you will be sniffing the second division of the championship one day. You don't know this. These lads are talented individuals with really great kits. Secondly, anything that Rob McElhenney, who more or less is the mayor of Philadelphia to me in so many ways. I mean, he's had the longest running television show, I think, in Philadelphia history, even though it's not technically shot in Philadelphia, but it's about Philadelphia, so I appreciate that. Furthermore, anything Ryan Reynolds does, I'm all about because that's possibly the sexiest man alive. So don't know what to tell you.
Let me cut you off on that point because you're going to wax poetically about Rob McElhenney.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the man's a coward. We've reached out to try to get him on this pod, and his little St. Joe's Preps ass is hiding behind his Instagram, hiding behind his publicist.
Yes.
He will not come on this pod because he does not want to answer the heavy, hard-hitting questions of why the Union's 13th team will wax Wrexham July 29th.
He probably good knowledge on your. This is our Sons of Ben president. Everybody, this is the guy who
we're not an X's and O's pod. We're not X's and O's.
Apparently, we're not a dates pod either. But it's legit that I appreciate that. You know, look, he's busy. He's got season 47 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to shoot. He's doing Mythic Quest, that show that I've actually watched a couple of episodes with. I'm actually enjoying it. But, you know, he will eventually come on here, especially if the U13 somehow lose to this squad, and then we have to like deal with gloating on the highest level. But look, I appreciate the idea of this happening because it helps the game as a whole. You know, it's weird that I think soccer is one of the few sports in this country, at least, that like an interesting owner can make you at least look at a team differently than you would previously. Like Dwayne Wade became a minority owner of the Utah Jazz, and I don't think anyone got more excited on the Utah Jazz based off of that. But I know the fact that Sierra and Russell Wilson became minority owners of Seattle actually was a thing for the Sounders. Or, you know, the fact that you had Steve Nash become a part owner of the Vancouver Whitecaps. Little bumps here and there.
Our own backyard. We're thrilled to have KD.
Look, I am thrilled to have KD. He still wears Brooklyn, so I'm going to try to acknowledge him as little as humanly possible. But also, he is our owner, and I appreciate
trade Ben
him.
Simmons for KD. Call
We will not.
610-555-9999.
So look, he's still Defensive Player of the Year. If we can fix his shot, he'll be amazing. So everyone, just leave this alone. It's like the Markelle Fultz 2.0. We might have given up on that too early, but I'll have another conversation on that another day. Anyway. Look, I'm excited. I want to go to this match because I haven't been to a friendly since I think the Frankfurt match. So I want to go to this one.
The last friendly I went to was when we played Bournemouth.
Oh my!
Yeah,
the cherries.
I'm excited because I think we might try to do. We're gonna see. It's a Thursday. It is the 29th. Preston and Steve, of course, are all over this kind of thing. They're gonna do a show from the stadium. We're kicking around. Oh, Devin, let me tell you, we're kicking around the idea of doing an all-day tailgate. Kegs and eggs in the morning kind of thing. We've got to figure out how we do this and how we do it responsibly. But I know Rob and the group, they want to do a lot of stuff for some of the charities in Philadelphia. I'm going to talk to Eric, who's his partner at Max Tavern, and see if there's something we can do. But this is going to be a week-long event of a lot of stuff. I'll be coming back from Columbus. So we're going to try to participate as much as we can because it'll be a celebration of just soccer. You know, we know that team isn't on the level of the Union, and we don't need any of our good players, you know, playing in it. So hopefully we get to see a lot of Union too. Maybe a couple like El Seno 13-year-olds come whoop some ass. It'll be great. Little known fact, Adam, do you know what Union player currently on the roster once played for Wrexham?
Wow. No, but I want to give a guess.
Do you know who Jess Gussler is obsessed with?
Colin? Colin used to play
played
for
Wrexham.
Yep. Wow. That's fun. I was going to say Richie Marquez, but anyway. No, Colin, that's great. Oh.
We got to get Colin on the pod to do a preview of Wrexham. So we've got to go down and see him and be like, yo, you got to get on for this thing.
You can keep talking about Jess being obsessed with him. Why do you guys not realize that man's 100% in my wheelhouse? What are you talking about? That man is beautiful. He speaks so well, and he dresses like he's in a fashion show. Like, I have never seen a backup center back dressed the same way that this man does. It is a sight to behold. I'm waiting for that drip tunnel every day before the games. I'm waiting for that drip tunnel.
You must not have seen the center back from the Philadelphia Falcons yesterday, man.
I mean, no. I mean, the drip tunnel was pretty. The drip was fantastic there as well. I'm just saying, this man's got a flair, and I appreciate a nice little flair.
Now, speaking of flares, you know what flares do? They call us fires. And guess what? On Saturday we have
the Chicago Fire. I'm in it.
Ooh,
I see what he's putting down, what he's picking up. I see it.
8:00. Fire time.
Why?
I don't even know who's on. Who the hell is on the Chicago Fire?
Is CJ Sapong still on the Fire?
No, I don't think he is. Is Julie Ertz playing for the Chicago Fire?
Is Fabian Herber still a Fire member?
Is Fabian Herber still in soccer?
No, Fabian Herber is definitely playing in MLS, but I don't know if he's still playing for Chicago. This is all right, pod people. Yeah. This is me in real time.
He does play for Chicago Fire.
He's still a Chicago Fire member. I was about to say this is me in real time Googling that, but no.
Here's the thing. Jim Curtin played for the Fire.
Yeah,
he met his wife. His now wife was a bartender in Wrigleyville.
Oh, yeah.
I think Jim is going to go to that bar in Wrigleyville, sit at the corner of the bar with a cell phone and coach from that bar and still beat the Chicago Fire.
That organization makes me so mad, and not because of them. It is because everything that is being run about them. From top to bottom, I can't imagine a more poorly run organization in professional sports, period. To me, it's baffling to watch that city with that possibility, those capabilities, that transplant, all of those things, to see them routinely be the most uninspiring. They're boring. They're just, I saw Jonathan Tannenwald retweet this. At their game this weekend, they had 5,624 fans in Soldier fucking Field. Sold in downtown Chicago. It's not like a Chester situation where everyone's fighting in the parking lot to get out. They got a train stop. They're right there in the heart of the city. The Bulls ain't playing. The Blackhawks ain't playing. What are you doing, Chicago? And they were like,
going to Cubs games,
watching the White Sox.
Yeah.
Gonna go see whatever ultimate frisbee team we got here in Chicago, because my God, the Fire are terrible. And they even got a new logo, which I like. They stole the Red Star's entire shtick, but I like it, And
here's the other thing, like on where it relates to us, they are terrible to their supporters groups.
Do they have any?
Oh yeah, and they treat them like ass. And it's just so funny. You're like, these are your most loyal fans. This is one of your most marketable traits, and you treat them like shit. And it's just baffling to me. Like I feel bad saying it. They shouldn't be around.
No, they're the reason why I believe promotion and relegation should exist. Because promotion and relegation, as much as it, creates competition, it also forces teams that are terrible to fix their shit. And one of the things that needs to happen is Chicago needs something to happen so drastically to the franchise where they actually have to do a massive overhaul.
Here's the thing with pro rel. And I think Chicago would do this 100%. They would follow the Mexican leagues, Liga MX, where if they get relegated, the owner just buys the team that took their spot and then just transfers their players over. Because that's what they do in Liga MX. That's why Pro Rel really doesn't work in, I don't think it would work.
But let's have
Don Garber should go, you know what, guys? You're in a huge market. You're embarrassing our league. We've got podunk markets right next to you in Minneapolis doing wonderful things. We've got Nashville doing things. We've got and you clowns are embarrassing us, you need to sell the team.
I want them.
That's it.
I want
Done.
them to put
Sold.
a team in Milwaukee so bad, so that they can just be excellent and be an hour and a half north of Chicago and take all of their fans. Because
they should move the franchise to Milwaukee.
And look, whoever's running the Red Stars should take over the Fire because they're doing this job much better. They're doing that much infinitely. Look, this is the same thing when I talk about Palermo with my girlfriend's team in Sicily. Palermo is the fourth largest city in Sicily. Or fourth largest city in Italy as a whole. It is the seat of Sicily. It's the biggest town on that entire island, and they're in Serie C and had to stay in Serie C because they didn't win their playoff to get to Serie B. And the thought of that to me is, how do you maintain any sense of a fan base, any sense of, loyalty, supporters as a whole, when routinely you're not signing anyone ever? Like the last time you signed, it was when Schweinsteiger, when he was at the very end of his career, like the tail of all tales of his career. And since that, you haven't signed anyone. Your uniforms are uninspired. Your logo was literally the worst in the league. You left your operations at Bridgeview, which you still use as a training facility, to move them downtown in Soldier Field, where you're getting less attendance than when you were getting it in Bridgeview.
It's a shame. I feel bad for the Chicago fans, but I'm not going to on Saturday.
No, but
because I'm predicting 4-0. I don't know what you can feel. Devin, write it down on the Discord for me, man. Like, this is going to be an ass whooping.
You can feel bad for the fans without feeling bad for the team. Like I all the time, like I feel bad for fans of teams all the time. Like fans of anyone from Detroit. I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologize. You have the Lions in your life. It's not,
They got the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
Oh yes, and they had to bring the Pistons back from Auburn Hills. Well, they're gonna trade it to the Sixers. We're gonna get it. It's gonna but like legitimately, I feel bad for other fan bases, but Chicago is like lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels on why there needs to be some punishment for ineptitude, and there isn't, and that's what the problem is here. There's no incentive for Chicago to ever get good, and that's the problem.
Well, we'll talk to Commissioner Garber on this very pod sometime in the future. Probably not.
Honestly, I would just love to get some Chicago pod people on. I would love to hear them talk about what's going on in Chicago. I know it's not going to coincide with us actually playing them, but even if it didn't, I would love to just be like, you are fans of this club. What the fuck is going on?
It's not a bad idea. We should try to do like club interviews and just see what the other side's like.
Right?
Like, hey,
we got Red Bull. We got Red Bull in a couple of weeks. We know a bunch of people from the Viking Army, and they're having a weird season. They just sold Caden Clark to Leipzig in the most obvious pipeline move in the history of mankind.
Exactly.
But like legitimately, like that's what's happening with their team. They didn't get to get rid of Aaron Long for whatever reason. That broke down, and then the dude busts up his knee, so now he can't even live out his European journey because Red Bull drugged their feet too long for that. You losing your 17-year-old superstar product in Caden Clark. What's going on in Harrison? What's the incentive? What is their motivation right now?
Well, we'll solve that on another episode because I know we're getting a little long on time and we got a couple things to discuss.
Please.
Real quick. Alumni. You know what the alumni news was? Are these kids at the end of their career going to come capo and become drummers? Because we had Mark McKenzie and Brendan Aronson with your boy Mike Kettelberg trying to keep a beat. I'm just going to say it that way. They were trying to keep a beat.
Mark had it. Brendan, we got to go back to the drawing board. I don't know what's going on in Austria. Maybe they're not using classical percussion like we're used to.
Did he have the white guy overbite when he was trying to drum? Did you notice?
Oh my God! Look, it was definitely no Ringo Starr there. That's all I know. That was a little bit of a struggle for Aronson there. But
I was pissed I didn't get to see it. I saw it on the video later, but I mean,
saw the whole thing.
They're the first players in a long time to come up and capo and hang out. So that was a blast just seeing them, and I want to thank them.
Was Medunjanin the last one to come up when he did that thing for the Food Network?
Yeah, but he didn't stay for capo. That was like filming beforehand, wearing like a $5 million leather suede coat.
I mean, it was a really nice coat. Someone get him out of
Cincinnati. Really nice, but I was sweating looking at that
Someone
thing.
Get him out of Cincinnati.
So our boys, they They came back. The homegrowns came back. They always know they've got a place. Now, speaking of the homegrowns, and Devin, you might have to look this up real quick. I know the U.S. men's team, the Gold Cup's coming up. Flock was part of that. I think Mackenzie, is Aronson on that roster too? Or I don't know what's going on with that, but there was a ton of people, and I wasn't sure the whole name list. And who's on vacation still.
It's a provisional roster, which includes up to 60 players, which will eventually be reduced to a size of 23. So a lot of the names on this list we are not going to see on the actual roster. But yes, Leon Flock was made an appearance there, which is cool to see. No, I don't think Aronson was on that one, and I don't believe Mackenzie was either.
Well, then I think if they're still home, we got to get them on the pod while they're still in town.
So here's the thing on the hypotheticals that what Devin says is true, which I don't believe is true, but on the hypotheticals that it might be. Do you think that Borholzer is at this point where he thinks that he can put different rosters together for different tournaments? Like he's just he's like
I believe so.
I believe so.
They're saying we don't need Aronson and McKenzie.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we got our young guys.
We have it. Like he believes
they're younger than a 20-year-old.
We have enough depth at the U.S. Soccer Federation to have multiple tournament rosters. Is that what we're saying?
Are there clubs? Some of their clubs saying no?
See, I believe World Cup qualifying is gonna become a part of this as well. So I think that's why
he's holding
the roster
off.
Probably doesn't have. Yeah.
Because let's be honest. I don't give another shit about the Gold Cup. I'm sorry. I think the Gold Cup. It's cool. I like tournaments. I like winning things. I could give zero shits about the Gold Cup.
Do you know when I like the Gold Cup? When it's playing in Lincoln Financial Field.
When it's here.
Other than I don't give a shit really. It's a
I don't give a shit about the Nations League either. Both of those things did nothing for me. So I'm like, look, please just go qualify for a fucking World Cup and let's talk after that. Because I just watched a video from one of the people I follow on YouTube, who's a British gentleman. He works for the channel HTC Sevens. Really good channel if you want to learn a lot about European soccer, like it's not just like the basic stats and all that, but like some of the idiosyncrasies of like stadiums and where teams are located and all that. It's a great rabbit hole to lose 3 hours down. But
do they cover Carver City football?
They might as well. They had an entire video devoted to Palermo. Like, that's how deep this is. They had an entire video devoted to why Palermo was in the position that it was. So, for me, that was enough.
You go down a rabbit hole. You go down the fucking rabbit hole,
look, man, Alice in Wonderland over here. But the thing about it is, he put out a video that said, should the United States be a favorite for 2026 based on this roster that we now have in 2021? And I wanted my head to explode and just be like, look. You gotta make the tournament in the first place, and you gotta beat someone not named Mexico. You can't be losing to fucking Switzerland when Switzerland can barely get out of their own group in the Euros and say, we're ready. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't.
All right, Devin's giving us the look. We've got a little European talk to discuss. Adam, you're gonna love this. Our beloved Chelsea, just making some off-season moves, doing Chelsea things.
Did we sign Lewandowski yet?
Not yet, but he's busy, so his agent's probably somewhere in Europe, like watching him. Well, no, Poland's probably done. They're done, so we'll probably sign him soon. Yeah, it's time to get him. But
they should have called Shabilko.
Listen, in London, there was a sighting. I think it was Adam Schefter from ESPN saw this sighting. Devin, you're going to be interested in this.
According to my sources,
Doug Peterson is the latest coach to turn down the Tottenham job. The rumor is Brett Brown, though, is thinking about taking that Tottenham job. So you might have Australian coach Brett Brown taking over your Tottenham Hotspur. So you should be really excited about these shenanigans going on at White Hart Lane.
At this point, if they want to Ted Lasso it, be my guest.
One, Ted Lasso is going to make everyone interested in soccer again in this country by himself. I just want to throw that out there. And two, if we're really going to make this work, we have to do the classic Tottenham job of you only work for 3 years. And who in Philadelphia coaching history works better in a 3-year period than Doug Collins? Doug Collins is the king of I show up for 1 season, second season goes great, third season is a disaster, and you fire me. He's basically the
I was
Jose
going to say
Mourinho.
Chip Kelly.
No.
Yeah, I was also going to go Chip
No,
Kelly.
no. See,
Chip
you guys, no. Chip Kelly, the problem with Chip Kelly is the Eagles gave him the keys to the car before they knew he could drive. And that was the issue that happened there. Everyone knew who Doug Collins was, and the Sixers signed him to be a coach during the first years of the process just for all us to be, the last years before the process, just for us all to be like, this guy's burning
he drove
out.
us to the process.
He burnt out Andre Iguodala. He literally burnt him out by himself.
All right, now the last piece of news we have is, and you were talking about dealing and deals. Devin, did you see this? Manchester City had Harry Kane as part of their Amazon Prime deal. They were trying to get him for a bargain price of like $17.99 on Prime Day, and Tottenham said no. It was weird. I thought they were gonna bite on that. It was like they had a Groupon. They had everything. Like, yeah, we'll take Harry Kane for $19.99 with my discount code Harry Kane 2021.
Look, they just let go of both Tobin Heath and Kristen Press. So, man, you've got some money at the moment. I'm just saying. They freed up some cash flow from their easiest, best players in their entire organization.
They are saying it's Man City, Man U, and Chelsea are all in the mix for Mr. Harry Kane's services. And
no, I don't know.
I don't know.
That just sounds like
he doesn't have to move.
That sounds like
he doesn't have to
less-
move if he goes to Chelsea.
I would not be able to stomach. I would not be able to stomach the image of Harry Kane playing for Chelsea. It is not.
Would you rather it be
that
Arsenal?
Is not one I want. Okay, we all know that's not going to happen.
I'm just saying. Look,
I don't even have to imagine.
Arsenal is basically the island of misfit toys now. They got David Luiz there. They got Will in there. They got all these guys who are just like, I'm still good. Cesc Fabregas went there. They're basically Chelsea light.
I will say, if Harry Kane signs with Chelsea, we are going to do a pod at Stamford Bridge.
And just voices of Harry Kane the whole time. That's how that's
happening.
happening.
I will buy the mashed potatoes and we will just do the whole pod.
Here's the thing. If the Lord had to ask me who would I'd rather want, I still want Olivier Giroud, because if at least I'm going to have a cinder block of a human who can't move his feet whatsoever, at least he can be beautiful. And I will take
True.
Olivier Giroud still scoring goals in the Euros. Every single time someone wants to count Olivier Giroud out, he says, "Fuck you, I don't need a Karim Benzema. I can do this myself." Thanos glove.
He says, "F you, I'm Olivier Giroud," and it rhymes.
Look, as a fan of France and also a fan of just comebacks and dudes who are just like, I ain't dead yet. Olivier Giroud is my favorite I ain't dead yet in like European soccer right now. Just keeps coming back to say, nope.
He's
braces.
the French Jamie Vardy. Good job.
He just gets braces whenever he feels like. He gets off the bench, gets 2 goals, and he's just like, and then flexes a couple of pecs and walks off the field.
Adam's going to call him the orthodontist. And on that note, this was episode number 69.
Nice.
John Runyon coming at you. Everyone, thanks a lot for listening, and aloha, Felicia.
I don't even have a new tagline anymore because we don't have to wash our hands like we used to. So, sexy season? No, he's on. I don't know. Just end the pod.